everyone, and welcome to a new 2025. I know it's already February, but it's new to Unapologetically Uterine, so welcome, everyone. This is season 3 of Unapologetically Uterine, your favorite Twitch stream on everything that has to do with sexual and reproductive health rights. Today, we are starting our first episode of the year, and today we are going to be discussing supporting your loved one through their abortion journey. We know that February is the month of love. And on today's episode, we'll be sharing the importance of supporting your loved one through their journey. Parents, siblings, partners, and friends are part of our day to day system, our support system. And your abortion journey is no exception for being included in this support system. And we have a lot of loved ones who could benefit from our support, from information provided by us, from care, in many different ways. So we are safe to choose in how to use abortion pill. Gail, could you please introduce how to use abortion pill for those who don't know us yet?
And I can't believe it. This is the third season. That means we've been running this for what, 3 years now, or almost. I'm really excited for this new year and everything that we have to discuss and to share with all our listeners. And I'm also manifesting as getting a lot of listeners because we are here to support and to love on everyone who is interested in SRHR. So the more people we get, the more fulfilled we will feel. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. And if this is your first time here, my name is Gail, and how to use abortion pill is basically your one-stop shop for all the information you need to know on how to safely self-manage your abortion at home with the abortion pill. So on our website, you get to chat with our chatbots, our safe abortion chatbots. Ali is available 24/7. So you can talk to Ali like whenever you feel the need to and ask all the pressing questions about how to take the pills, the dosage, what to expect when you take the pills, and then contraindications, how to build a safety plan, literally everything you need to make sure that you have a safe at home abortion. So yes, that's what we are here for. We are also available on social media channels, and you can also chat with Ali on WhatsApp as well. But we don't just stop there. Our platform is also for abortion providers. So if you see this and you're a provider, we have an e-learning course that you can take to help you provide person-centered care for abortion seekers around the globe.
That's amazing. That's a lot of information for those that want to know exactly what how to use those. Their tools like Ali, their e-learning courses. How to use is a really great platform that provides a lot of information, especially on the abortion pill. So please check it out. And from my end, we are safetochoose.org. We are also a platform that provides abortion support and abortion care. We provide information on abortion with pills, but also what you should know if you want to have an in clinic abortion. We can help you calculate the weeks of pregnancy that you are. And we have an amazing system of abortion counselors who are free. So if you want to talk to someone who is located in your region and can support you and give you that emotional support, but also kind of steer you towards having a very safe and great abortion journey, they are included. We also have a toolkit for abortion providers. Um, that you can join that is also free, which is really great. And a lot of resources like our testimonials. So, you know that there are people that have had abortions all around the world. So, abortions are normal. They can be safe. They can be done really well in the comfort of your own home if you have the right information and resources. So, again, check out howtouseabortionpill.com or safetochoose.org, howtouseabortionpill.org or safetochoose.org to have that information. Now, beginning our episode, I'd like to ask you, Gil, what is an abortion, and why is it important that our loved ones have access to this without any stigmas?
In very non-medical terms, because I know we are big preachers of demedicalizing abortion, which is a great thing to do, because in demedicalizing it we are also ensuring that it is normalized and it's made accessible to a lot of people who may not have access to medical facilities. So it's basically the process of terminating an existing pregnancy. So this can be an unwanted pregnancy right from the onset, or it can be a pregnancy that you wanted, but maybe with time and with some reasons, all reasons are valid though, you decide that at some point it becomes unwanted for you. So it's basically the termination of an existing pregnancy. And this, unfortunately, abortion has a lot of stigma around it, because usually when people think of abortion, they are looking at it through a religious lens, they are looking at it through a political lens and other things, instead of just thinking of it as a basic human right and a woman's right, a healthcare decision, just something, a self-care decision for most women actually. So because of this, there's a lot of stigma, and there's shame and fear and judgment um shrouded around abortion. So it's important that people are able to access abortion without stigma, because I think at the base of it, I believe everyone and everybody, every woman actually deserves to have the ability to make a choice without judgment, without shame, and without fear. And stigma around abortion can make abortion seekers feel unsupported, and it can make them feel like they are alone. And this can also lead to them making sometimes rash decisions that can result in unsafe abortions. So if we are able to take stigma out of abortions, it can be safer. It can make abortion seekers feel more supported in their decisions to have an abortion. Do you have anything to add, V?
Yeah, I think you covered it really well. I think also that one of the things that removing stigma allows us to do is that people feel comfortable speaking about the abortion or seeking help. I know I've had a lot of conversations with women in my lives, and they have had abortions, yet they've never told anyone because they felt like they didn't need to or they didn't want to. They felt scared to share it. They felt that they might be judged, and a lot of them went through their abortion alone. So if they would have had that, knowledge or confidence in that they're not doing anything wrong, that an abortion is just a choice that they made, or they have to have an abortion and it's totally fine, then they would have gone through their journey with support, with care, maybe not feeling so isolated, maybe not feeling so distant from everyone else. And like I mentioned, we've had these testimonials that we see that people go through abortions because of many reasons. All of them are valid. And I really, it breaks my heart when I hear that a lot of people have to go to through their abortion alone, or they go through it scared or anxious, worried, when quite frankly they should know that it could be a really safe process, and that having a better support system will really help them through the whole process. Now I would ask you, Gil, why is it important that we become a part of our the support system? How, as people who are friends, families, partners, why should we be a part of their abortion support system?
I think it's important. You actually already covered a bit of that, but just to reiterate, it's important because it will help abortion seekers not to feel as if they are isolated and that they don't have anybody they can confide in or rely on. Because even though abortion is a process that for many people it's a do and done situation, and some people do not like attach a lot of feelings to it. There's also the other side of it where some women, abortion can take an emotional toll on them, because for them in their minds it's a big decision they are making. So in instances like that, when they don't have a support system, then they tend to feel alone. And I think being part of someone's support system is also you indirectly saying that you trust them as a person. And so you support the decision that they are making. And yeah, just to be a safe space for them to come to if and when things gets like too much and they just want someone to vent to or anything like that. It's just your own little way of saying that I trust you. I'm here for you. You are not alone. And like I've got you in all its entirety. Because for me, the first time I was sort of an ally for someone who was going through an abortion. It was actually a bit scary for me because that was my first time having to be in contact with someone who was actively having an abortion. And even back then, I wasn't fully pro-choice. So this was a harrowing experience for me, because but I had to take my personal feelings out of it, and that I just wanted to be there for my friend, because I did not want her to feel like I'm doing this on my own. Yeah, I I I wanted to show that I respect her as a person, and then I respect the decision she's making for her body.
And I think that's really great. I think if as a friend we have the opportunity to help someone, we should. I also think it's really this phrase, no, you're there for someone for better for worse, and I think that you should be there unconditionally for someone, love them unconditionally, support them unconditionally, and part of that is respecting their bodily autonomy and letting them decide what they want to do with their body. And this also goes beyond, for example, abortions. Somebody may decide that they want to use birth control, or may decide that they don't want to use birth control, or somebody may decide that they want to start having sex, or they may want to explore different sexualities. And in each and every one of these cases that's related to sexual and reproductive health, we should be supportive of the person, and we should always be there to provide them with information, resources, make sure that they're safe while they're exploring what option works best for them. Which leads me to my next question. It's two parts, but I think they kind of intertwine. How can we emotionally and physically support somebody who's having an abortion? For example, physically, I shared that we could search up resources. For example, we could share the abortion protocols from how to use or safe to choose. We could share the counselor's link or the alley link, and then that way people can have more information. They know where they can find resources in their country. They know what instructions they have to follow to have a safe abortion. But emotionally, I think, like you mentioned, Gail, we have to be there. We have to listen to them. We have to know that we respect them as a human, as a friend, as a person. And I had this conversation with an abortion collective here in Mexico called Michis Aborteros. And they had a really great point that we can also support emotionally in the sense that we have our auxiliary kit, but it doesn't necessarily mean like what we think first. It could be, if this person, I know that they really, really, really like chocolates, then I will make sure that they have a chocolate there during their abortion process so that they have that thing that makes them happy. I don't know, if they're really addicted, for example, to Sex in the City, while we wait for the abortion to pass, while we wait for everything to go well, I'm gonna make sure that we have our Sex in the City marathon with some snacks and everything. If they like video games, I can set that up for them. So it's a different way of thinking of how to support emotionally. And I think also it can turn it into this, maybe I could say like lovely experience where you don't remember it because it's something that could be really hurtful to you. You remember it because this was a time I made a decision that was best for me, but also I got to experience it with somebody who loves me and did everything possible for me to be safe, and for that I'm grateful. And I think that's a great way to go about it too. Gail, your suggestions. How can we support them emotionally but also physically?
I love that. I love that part about it's also being like an avenue for you to bond with someone who is special to you, so that when you think back on your abortion, it's not just the feeling of you like losing something, but it's also you having this amazing time with your person. I really like that. I think emotionally, one of the things we can also do is listening without judgment, because I I feel like I tend to be one of those people where I have I have so many lived experiences. So usually when I find myself in situations when people are talking to me about something, I'm trying to validate them by also sharing my experience, which I think can be a bit of a red flag when someone is going through something. So, in my position, for instance, if someone comes to me and wants me to support them emotionally for an abortion, I'm just going to have to sit and listen. I don't have to interrupt them. There are times that you don't need to give any advice, you don't need to try to get them to get that you understand them. Just listen without interruption, listen without giving any form of advice, because a lot of times they just want to be heard. Like they just want to vent, so you are just there to listen, and that's all you should do. You should also validate their feelings, tell them it's okay that they are feeling whatever way they are feeling. don't even try to explain their feelings to them. Just say you hear them and you understand them. I think one very important thing emotionally is also respecting their privacy. Because if somebody comes to you, it means they trust you enough. That does not mean that trust extends to your romantic partner or to your other friends or even to their other friends or to their family. If they've not told these people, it's not in your right to decide that I'm going to tell these other persons that this friend is going through this. No, please allow them to decide when and if they are ready to tell other people. Do not make the decision with them and without their consent or knowledge. Physically, I think you basically covered all of them, but also making sure that if if maybe they have things in the house like cleaning, picking up after them, especially if you are around them while they are going through their abortion, as you are watching Sex in the City, as you are binging on all these shows, you are eating the junk food, please support them by being the one to clean up, help them clean up, ask them the little things in the house, or if there are errands that need to be run that they physically won't be able to do it. Please support them by doing it for them. Get them a painkiller because they forgot to get a heating pad. You can quickly rush out and get one for them. They run out of pads. You can go and get some for them. These are the small and very little ways that we can be the best support system for abortion seekers, for our friends, for our loved ones who decide to have an abortion.
Yes, and that also reminds me we could also do things like if they're doing it at a clinic, drive them to and from the clinic. If they had another errand to run that day, do that errand for them and then make sure that everything's okay. If we can't be there physically, text them, call them, see how they're doing. Once it's passed, maybe take them out to lunch. There's a lot of ways we can support the ones we love. And honestly, I think that love is reciprocal. So you're there for them and they're going to be there for you in the future. And that's what makes it really beautiful. Now, I know that there are people who might support their loved ones who have already gone through an abortion. For example, you, Gail, you've had that experience, you know what's going on. We have this information readily available for us. But what are the basics on abortion that someone who doesn't know anything about abortion might need to know for this process? For example, I would mention that an abortion at home is safe, but you have to do it with the right resources and the right information. That's very, very crucial. So I would recommend people to, for example, go to Safe to Choose and check out our abortion protocols. We have these step-by-step guides, infographics that can help you out. And I know that Gail can talk to us a little bit more about the self-managed abortion videos that How to Use has and how could they utilize that, Gail, for supporting their loved ones.
Yeah. I think back to abortion being shrouded in stigma and shame and all that. So a lot of times when people decide to get an abortion, they are already scared. They don't know what to expect. So I think one thing I always recommend for people is to know the process, to know everything, like the step by step process, even before you start, so that at least you are aware that, okay, right after that, this is what I'm doing, this is what I should be expecting. These are signs that I need to seek help. So when you go to heartiesabortionpill.org, we have a series of videos, the self managed abortion video series, where you can watch right from the beginning how to calculate your gestational age, and then how to take the pills once you've gotten them, the instructions on dosage, what to expect after you take the pills in terms of bleeding, in terms of cramping, basically everything. Things you can do to make sure that you are comfortable, and what to expect after the abortion process is done, signs of rare complications that may need you to seek medical attention. So you can just head over to howtouseabortionpill.org and then watch this video before you even start your abortion process. If you are not the one having the abortion and you are being someone's support person, you can also go and watch this video so that you can be able support in all its entirety, because it's important that you are informed right from the onset, so that it can avoid you panicking at any time just because um maybe you missed something or you're seeing something and you've heard so much information and misinformation that, oh, it's making you panic. You don't have to panic. You just need to make sure that you are well informed before you even start your abortion process.
And I would also add on to that that it's normal that you are not an expert on abortions. It's completely normal. You know, nobody knows everything the first time. And that's why we have really great tools like Allie and the counselors. So, for example, I don't know, my friend is having an abortion. I don't know what to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to contact the counselors. I'm going to be the main point of communication between the counselors and my friend so she doesn't have to stress out. And then I can remain informed by them and then relay that information to my friend and make sure that everything is working out. So I think there's a lot of great ways to go about this. And also, if you're really overwhelmed and anxious about what might happen, again, these tools like Allie and the counselors are free. They're available 24/7. They're available year round. So make sure that you always keep that in mind so you can contact them and have that information. Now, when discussing how we're going to support someone, I think it's important to mention that sometimes people can have inner biases. We have a bias towards abortion or a process. Maybe we're pro choice, but we don't know if we like this process or that process. So we need to discuss how we can challenge these bias that we may have and how can we get around that. I would say one of the best tools to challenge this is just by staying informed, reading about it. And I think more than just like the clinical information and the data, which speaks a lot, it shows how safe it is, how regulated it is. I would say also to just check out the testimonials, to check out firsthand experiences. There's, like I mentioned, like we have our testimonials, and I know How to Use has a lot of resources too. But even if you go on TikTok and you click on like abortion experience, there's going to be so many videos of people sharing their abortion, saying how it was, sharing their experience. And then you'll also see that nobody has the same experience. All of them are different. And like we mentioned, just staying informed and seeing how it's completely normal. It's something that happens to people all around the world. The choices and the reasons why they do it are vastly different, yet they're all valid. And I feel like that's a great way to challenge that. What are some biases that people may have, Gil, and how can they challenge those?
I think sometimes it's one that really stands out to me is how people can be selective about when people can access abortion, because you hear someone say, oh, I'm pro-choice, but I only support abortion in cases of rape. I think all the other times do not apply, which is a biased statement to make. And then someone will say, I I support abortions, but I think people are abusing it as a form of birth control option, which is also one way to show your bias. So as you shared, it's mostly about staying and being informed. So when you think about these things, I think the best thing is to research, to listen to people's stories, because even though people do not need to give you a reason for wanting to get an abortion, your thought process can be dangerous to someone. So maybe the more you hear people talk about their abortion experiences, what pushed them to get the abortion, maybe, I don't know, but just maybe it can help you challenge like all these thoughts that you are having. And I think self-reflection is very important, because I don't think we are all fully void of bias, because at some point in time you probably think of something and then you wonder, like, oh, did I really just think about this? So it's just important that when you get these thoughts, you take a second, you take a minute to reflect. Why are you thinking the way you are thinking? What is influencing this thought process that you're having? And then you take it a step further by trying to get more information on how to, I don't know, best tune your thought processes so that this doesn't get more problematic than it already is, even though it's just in your head. And I think in challenging biases, we also have to speak up when we hear misinformation. I know sometimes it can be uncomfortable, and especially if you're trying to speak to someone who is not pro-choice, it can seem uncomfortable and maybe taken as you being confrontational. But it's important that we speak up. But when speaking up, it's best to speak up with facts. So again, being informed, staying updated with information, because if you don't have the facts, you won't be able to combat misinformation, and you can't be emotional when you are trying to speak to someone who has like tons of misinformation about abortions. You need to make sure that you are providing them with evidence based information. You're providing them with facts. It's accurate and it's reliable information, so that they can also go back and then realize that, oh, okay, this person was right. Then now it can help change their mindsets and how they think and speak about abortions.
And I think also what you mentioned reminded me that we may have one conception of who has an abortion when there are different people who have abortions. So maybe a friend of yours is a mom and she wants to have an abortion because she's happy with the family she has and doesn't want to have another child, and that's perfectly fine. Maybe somebody wants to have an abortion because they're in an abusive relationship and they do not want to continue that pregnancy. That is also fine. Maybe somebody just their contraception failed, they don't want to have that pregnancy. Somebody became pregnant when they didn't mean to. They don't want to have that pregnancy. So there's a lot of ways that a lot of people who can choose to have an abortion, and each one of them is valid. And we don't need to judge anyone because of their choice. And you actually touched another point that I had, another question, which I think was really great. And it's how can we communicate with other family members or friends who are anti choice to become supportive? And it's like you mentioned, we have to stand up, we have to share the facts and the information. I think one thing that's also important is to know that we might not change their minds. I think a lot of people who are very much anti abortion and anti choice are very, very much anti choice, and it's really hard to make them challenge the views that they have based on false data or false information. So we just need to make sure that we keep it a very cordial space for the person who's going through the abortion. We need to make sure that the person who's going through the abortion doesn't feel like they're pressured by people who are anti-choice to make a different decision, or that they feel sad or mad with the comments that they may receive. So we need to act like a buffer sometimes, obviously keeping in mind that our safety and the safety of the person who's having an abortion is first. Now, we spoke about supporting the person before the abortion by informing ourselves, by finding information, and then during by being there physically with them, giving them these like love and giving them tools to really carry through that process. But how can we support someone after an abortion? What would you recommend we do after everything has gone and the abortion was successful and it's time to continue our day to day lives?
I think you can do this with check-ins, but not in a crowded way. Not that you're texting them at every minute, at every turn, every hour, trying to find out how they are doing. I think that can make the person feel a bit overwhelmed. But maybe once a day, once in a while, hey, just checking in. How are you holding up? How's everything? Don't be pushy. It's just you trying to make sure that they're in the right headspace. And if someone also comes to you after the process and tells you that, oh, maybe they're struggling, you can help by trying to maybe research resources that they can go to. So for example, you can recommend that they speak with the counselors as safe to choose. They can be very helpful to help someone post abortion. So it's just, again, listening is very important, because you can't just assume the headspace they are in. So it's just about trying to talk to them and then listening to whatever position they are in, and then trying to find solutions for whatever situation that they find themselves in. But again, don't be pushy. Don't try to make them feel overwhelming. It's just as much as you feel they can handle should be enough.
Mm-hmm. And I would also mention that I think reiterating what you said, we have to listen. And maybe your friend confides to you for other services. So they're like, you know what? After everything I've been through, I think I want to get a more permanent birth control method. Then you go with them to the clinic. You're there with them seeking information. You're there with them in any cases. If they want to be more vocal about their abortion, you can be there and support them. If they want to keep it to themselves for now, they feel like they just want to have this process for themselves and for you, you have to respect that and not share it like you mentioned earlier. So I think there's a lot of ways we can support somebody after an abortion. And again, I think it's never a bad time to have like a girls' day out or a family day out or like any or partner day out. So just make sure you shower the person in love. I think that's just one of the best ways we can go about it. Um, Now I have another question that's sort of related, but I think it's also a very realistic situation that we did mention at the beginning. So, how can we support someone who already had their abortion? They went through it through another process or by themselves, but they eventually confide in us to tell us about their process and their choice and everything. So, what would be the first thing you would do, Gil, if your friend comes to you and shares that they had an abortion?
So I remember how to use was trying to run a blog on personal stories. So I made a short video on my TikTok asking people to share their abortion stories. And I think it's in a situation like that, it's very important that you are empathetic. Don't try to judge them or ask questions right from the onset. So one thing that I was saying to everyone who reached out was thank you for trusting me with this, because they don't have to tell you. They are in no position to come to you and trust you with something like that, something that a lot of people will probably shame them for, but they did it because they had to, because they needed to, because they felt that was the right thing to do for them in that decision. So thank you for trusting me with this. It's it's a great thing to say to validate their feelings and also not make them feel any negative way about coming to you with their abortion story. You can also validate them by telling them that you are proud of them for making a decision that supports their bodily autonomy. So it's just being validating, being empathetic, be kind, and just listen. As always, do not share their story if they do not consent to it or if they don't have knowledge about you going to share it. If they are coming to you, it's because they think you can be a safe space for them. Please do not violate that safe space. So even though my intention for my video was to share, there are people who reached out to me after sharing, and I went ahead to let them know that I would like to use this for a blog post. When they told me they were not comfortable with it, I did not push and I did not go ahead to use their stories because I needed to respect their privacy. I needed to respect that they were only trusting me as a safe space to vent, to share, and that's just it.
Yeah, and I think it's also a privilege to know that that person trusts you so much that they would share that information with you. And like you said, we have to be mindful, we have to be respectful. If it just remains as a conversation between the two of you, then that's perfectly fine. And I think there's a lot of power in just informing someone and letting them know afterwards, after you've processed everything that happens, especially since we live in a society that's so judgmental and stigmatizing that sometimes it might be hard for us to process what happened and understand that it's a normal thing. Like we said, abortion experiences may vary. For someone, it could be very fast and easy and honestly like just something that really happened so quickly, and for someone it could have a lot of more emotional baggage. It could be a more complex process. They could have had a more difficult time dealing with the symptoms and like the side effects. So we need to be respectful that each process is different and everyone will share their story at their own pace if they want to share their story, and if they don't, then that's perfectly fine too. But yeah, I don't think I'd give any more advice. I think you gave great advice on how to support that person. So I think we could for like our final question and the final thing that we can do is what are some words of affirmation we can share with our loved ones and abortion seekers? So I think from my end, words of affirmation would include things like abortion is normal, abortion is not a bad word, a person you loved has had an abortion, and I think that ties in really well with today's theme. I think your bodily autonomy is important. Your choices are valid. You are beautiful and you deserve to be respected. You are loved. You will always be supported. I think those are just things that we can keep in mind and remind people, not only when they're having their abortion, but also just in general. Like, people need to be respected and their bodily autonomy needs to be respected. We need to remind them that we respect their choices, we respect them as people, as individuals, and we will never judge them because they had an abortion. It's something that's completely normal. So for you, Gail, what are some words of affirmation that you would tell somebody who is having an abortion?
I think you basically covered it all. But your choice was valid. Whatever reason you had to want an abortion is valid. And you are loved despite how society might make you feel. And I know sometimes um because of the stigma around it, some people also have like internalized shame and internalized stigma. So um reassuring words for themselves that despite how you are feeling right now, you made a choice that works for you at the moment. And there's nothing wrong with that. You are loved and you are worthy despite your abortion and in spite of how society is making you feel. Your choice is and will always be valid. I think you covered everything. So now I'm short of words. And I'm never short of words. But basically, I think we just have to remind people that abortion is self-care. It is healthcare. It is normal. It is common. People have abortions, not just an abortion. And all those are also normal. And you are and will always be loved as an abortion seeker.
And also, it's 2025. Like, this has to be the year we normalize abortions. Like, it has to be the year that we do it.
Right.
I know.
Right. I even I can't even believe that now on social media we are going back to saying to writing abortion as ABORSHION. I don't like why are we going back? Now
Yeah.
it feels like the world is retrogressing. I don't know if that's the right word, but we are going back instead of progressing.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, I know. But we're working hard. We are working hard and we'll continue to support people. There's a great network of abortion advocates and providers around the world. So I know that even if times are tough, we're going forward. I know that we will. So we're actually going towards the end of our live stream. Like we mentioned, it's Valentine's month, February, month of love. So our theme was how to support your loved ones during their abortion. But again, this isn't just something that happens during February, it happens year round. So always make sure to keep yourself informed, updated, see new ways that we can support people and be there for them. But just so we have this information out there for anyone who is just joining us, Gail, can you please share the social media for how to use the website, any resources that you think could help people?
so how to use, you can find us on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok as HTU abortion pill. And we are also on YouTube as how to use abortion pill, where you can watch our videos. You can also head over to our website at howtouseabortionpill.org, where you can watch our self-managed abortion pills. Also, if you are a provider or you're someone who wants to be a provider, you can take our medical abortion course for providers on our website. This is a course that is free and it comes with certification. It's very interactive and you can take it at your own pace. and finish whenever you want to. It's very resourceful, it's informational, it's educative, and again, you get a certificate out of this. We also have Ali, our Safe Abortion chatbot. Ali, you can reach Ali on WhatsApp. You can just head over to our Instagram page and send a DM to Ali as well. You can chat with Ali on Facebook and also on our website. Ali speaks different languages and is available 24/7 to support you with all the questions you have about how to use the abortion pill. Again, we are your one-stop shop for all the information, for accurate, reliable, and safe information on how to manage your medical abortion at home. Safe to choose.
Thank you, girl. And remember, everything is free. So it's always there for you to get that support. We love, especially in 2025, with this economy, we need free abortion support. Um, but safetochoose.org, again, is also a platform that provides abortion information. We have many resources like our abortion protocols that help you have a safe self-managed abortion at home, but we also have information on abortion in clinics. So you go to the clinic with the knowledge and you know when something's being done correctly, when it's not. You know how to advocate for yourself and know that what you need for a safe abortion. We also have our section on abortion in your country, so you can see the abortion laws in your country, what local resources there may be. We also have our toolkit for abortion providers. So if you're an abortion provider, you're part of a larger network, or you're an individual, you can sign up. And this is a toolkit specifically for people who provide abortion support online. So it's really great to stay up to date, to get more information. And last but not least, we have our abortion counselors, which are available from Monday through Friday for the live chat. You can chat with them, and then see what information you need. Maybe you just need emotional support. You need someone to talk to during your abortion, or maybe you have no idea how to have a safe abortion and you want that information and somebody to kind of virtually hold your hand through the whole process. So if you want to reach out to them, you can go to safetochoose.org, or you can email them at info@safetochoose.org. And on social media, you can find us everywhere as Safe to Choose. We provide up-to-date information, a lot of great memes. If I do say so myself, we're really funny, so go check out our content. And like Gail mentioned, we also have a lot of blogs with more information. So yeah, just to wrap up, what is one final thing that you would say to the audience, Gail, before we end the live stream? Just one last thing for this month of love. Wrap up. What is one final
I think 2025 has been a trying year, and it's just the second month. The world is riddled in so much negativity, and I just want you to know that it's okay to take a break when you feel overwhelmed. You can put your phone away, you can put your laptop away, just take a breath. So we have a saying that go touch grass, go outside. You can just put your gadgets away, go outside and breathe in some fresh air. You can do some yoga, you can meditate, go to the gym, which is what I do to try to stay sane. But there's so much going on in the world. But I want you to also remember that there's still a lot of love that they cannot take away from us. As long as we are out here speaking our truth, we are supporting each other, we are here for each other, there will come a time where we'll look back on all these days and then we'll realize how far we have come as individuals, how far we've come as a collective, how far we've come as women who are fighting for our right to be seen as human beings, basically. So it gets better. And I hope you don't forget it, even though the world is hard right now.
Even if we're in shambles, we'll make it work. I
Right.
Yeah, no. I hope the year gets better. Oh my God, it's only February. Okay, well, I would also add that loving and being loved is an honor. It's a privilege. It's something that's really beautiful. And I think that if we truly love someone, we'll be there for them no matter what. We'll do our best to support them. And of course, you may be the one helping them with an abortion now, but maybe you in the future will need that support for an abortion. Or there are other ways we can support and love people in our circle. So it's always great to maintain that information, to get the resources, and always be there prepared just in case. Because, it's the phrase, but it's so true. Someone you know has had an abortion, someone you know might have an abortion, someone you know is having an abortion, and someone that you love is having an abortion. So always maintain that flexibility and that space for them to come to you and trust you with that support. But yes, I'm so excited. This is the season 3 of Unapologetically Uterine. We are going to have a lot of episodes and a lot of new fun content and formats, so please stay tuned for all of that. And I love your makeover, Gil. Just wanted to say that too. I love your makeover. So thank you everyone for
Thank
joining our
you.
live stream. And we will upload this video on YouTube in case you missed it and want to relive it, rewatch it. And just stay tuned to our social media for our next episodes. Bye.
Yeah. Bye, guys.